Hi, it's Hans at happierman.com. Today's topic is get your mind right. To me, that's one of the first things you have to do anytime you're trying to do anything of substance and trying to create your life how you'd like it. A lot of us don't have our mind right, and that's why I wanted to kind of get into it. A lot of us think we don't matter, that everybody else matters more than us. We think that because there's something wrong with us, so we shouldn't get what we want, and that if we end up in a situation where we're suffering and miserable, that we should just man up and take it. And of course, we're kind of preached at that from many different sources, the idea of manning up and taking it. You know, for example, the movies are always about manning up, and the hero, takes a good beating and perseveres at the end. But of course, all of that is just movies, right? Those guys, our heroes in the movies, they're really not taking that kind of a beating. But you are, in your life, you're taking a beating. I took quite a beating when I was married. Not a physical beating, but a mental beating. I was verbally abused. I kind of manned up and took it. I tolerated all that for years. Verbal abuse is a form of torture. Don't let anybody say to you that it isn't. You should be able to take it because you're a man, right? So get that idea out of your head. You got to get your mind right. That's the idea of this. Get your mind right. Don't tolerate abuse. Don't take it. If things are going wrong in your life, complain about them and then start doing something about it. Certainly the first step is realizing that you matter and you don't have to tolerate bad situations. If you find yourself in a bad situation, you're going to find a way to get out of it. Not tolerate it, not deal with it, not put up with it, not try to make mama happy or keep the family happy or go along because the church says to stay with her. No, that is totally wrong. That is only good for them. It isn't good for you. Your life as a man is only going to be as good as you make it yourself, and you can't have a good life if you're tolerating abuse from another person, especially if that person is your wife. I mean, I think we all can get, if our boss is giving us a hard time at every turn, that we're going to look for a better job and a different job, and we're going to keep moving on until we find it. Well, that's no different than a relationship with a woman. If the relationship with the woman is no good, you're going to leave it until you keep looking for another one until you find it. You're probably going to find that it's simpler and easier to not have long-term relationships with women. That's what I have found out. But you may, stumble upon a good woman, but you're going to have to be willing to keep looking until you find it. Some guys did find a good girl, married her, and had a good life. A lot of that is luck. There may not be as many good ones as we would like. Some guys don't do that. Some guys have a hard time finding a girl. They get one, they latch onto her, and then no matter how bad she treats him, they stay. That's a big problem for men, and I don't want you to have to go through to that. Well, it's kind of my life. I stayed with a woman for very long, even though she was mistreating me. And I don't want that for you, because that has created some very deep wounds, very deep scars in me that are very hard to heal. So I had to get my mind right. I had to read about and listen and hear about men who thought that they mattered and that they should have a good life and that they should be happier. And that men who I had to learn that men didn't have to take it, that we weren't here just to be abused and mistreated and maligned. Your mind has to be right to make a big change like this. And let me help you get it right. I will help you as best I can. That's all for now.